Breaking Black podcast.
Well, as a business owner myself, I believe that social media has definitely helped my business, and also just learning how to build a business. You see a lot of other young people creating businesses. You kind of see how they start, and then you kind of learn on your own and then kind of use that to market your business. I've met a lot of people through social media. A lot of my clients are through social media as well.
In our times, I think they were more concentrated on brick and mortars, but now you have technology at your fingertips. What are some of the positive things that you could probably call out to like running a business online or starting a business online?
I would want to say finding resources and finding ways to create different types of businesses. It's very easy to find on social media. I went to YouTube University and I learned all I could find out about building a business, especially an online business, and marketing on social media. I also had started two businesses, one that I'm currently doing and one that I kind of dissolved. So in the beginning, I had like a Shopify account, and I would make products and sell them on Shopify. That was very interesting. It taught me a lot about unit pricing and inventory and all the little nuances that goes into creating an online business that's strictly online.
What might have been some of the challenges that you may have found in like creating an online business?
One of my challenges is just like creating a social media presence, creating an account, getting people to like and follow, getting people to, be invested in your business online. Definitely taking like content pictures. Building content is very, very hard. It seems like, snap a cute little photo and you have content, but there's a lot of things that go into it. And there's a lot of money that's being spent to make content look as great as some people's content looks.
Do you feel like it's opening up the door to like new people? We talked a lot about business, maybe looking at social media and technology from more of like a friendship or relational standpoint. How do you feel about like incorporating some of those technologies in reference to like making friends or like maybe even a relationship? I don't know, things like that.
Definitely making new friendships. I would say 80% of my clientele are off of social media, and also people I've never met prior to building a business and creating a business. So shout out to my clients that I've met on social media.
Like Jazzy, Stacy, Nikki, all of the Barbies is pretty.
I am very grateful to meet such beautiful young ladies that also are business owners as well. So it's great to create that connection and build that relationship with those individuals.
I love that. So you feel like in finding friends on social media, it's also leading you, I guess because it's a little more strategized, it's also leading you to find like people that are in the same lines of business and things like that?
Yeah, I meet a lot of other like-minded women and, other business women through social media, just from seeing what I'm doing. And I also just meet just a lot of different women from all walks of life. So it's been a great tool to, meet other like-minded individuals. I have not met anyone relationship-wise, but,
Fingers crossed. That's right. I mean, I can definitely kind of see where you're coming from with that too. Like starting a business online, I think that it's also kind of led me to like meeting more people that are specifically like dealing with like content creation. And, I think it'd be a lot harder in getting the business. I think like this allows you to kind of, put in those customized like hashtags and, kind of create like a digital space for yourself, which allows you to get like your content out there or your business out there. But then it also allows you to attract like-minded individuals who, may be doing some of the same things or maybe running into some of the same circles. And the nice thing about it, I think we spend so much time on social media. I think people are becoming so comfortable now on social media that I think like having conversations online or having conversations in the DMs have gotten like to be a lot easier. I think it's kind of a social norm now.
Yeah, I think it makes you also like a lot more personable. People can see you on your everyday life. Like most of my clients, they follow my personal page. So they see me in the light of providing them a service, but then they also see, on an everyday basis, seeing me in my normal job, seeing me when I was in school, they saw me, be a student. So it gives you this full 360 view of someone. And I think what makes you more personal for someone to want to contribute to your business or want to support you because they see you as a whole individual and not just like, oh, look at that girl that, has this business.
We talked a little about business and we talked about friendships. In terms of like music, what do you think are some of like the generational differences between like, some of the music that's streaming now versus like maybe what we might have seen in our parents' or our grandparents' generation?
We definitely haven't seen the R&B singers dance in the rain and, sliding down, confessing their undying love for women. Which, is disheartening to see. But I think we also have seen the rise of like female artists, and especially female hip hop artists. And they're really commanding the stage and also commanding their presence as being as equals to male performers.
I love the fact that it's like opening up doors for like more female artists. I mean, it's an interesting space coming from my generation, seeing, I don't know, the transitions of what the female artists are. Like in my, my time, we had Aaliyah, we had, Missy Elliott, we had Lauryn Hill. Like, it's been there's a little bit of a difference as far as in terms of like the genre of music that you're seeing and like where you're seeing transitions, go in music. But I do love the fact that it's creating a space for more, I guess, female empowerment in the sense of like women being able to kind of say whatever it is that they want to say and be more in charge of like some of their careers. And it's like this blurred group on Facebook, and they just recently happened to be talking about how like some of the comics were being changed over from like male to female characters, and like they were kind of like a little bit in an uproar, about that, asking questions about whether or not we think that's like appropriate, if it's something that we should be interested in. And a lot of people chimed in and talked about like there not being that much diversity when it comes to like women in entertainment, be it like, comics, animation, music, movies, film, whatever it is. Like we are slowly but surely kind of starting to more diversify those arts. And you're starting to see not just women like in front of the camera, but you're starting to see like women behind the scenes. So I think when it comes to like music and television, a new generation, they're kind of giving more of that attention to focusing on more so like women empowerment and seeing more women kind of champion those spaces. So I love that. I kudos to your generation for giving us, more diversity and creating a lot more innovation. I think that's awesome.
Gen Z is leading in, less teen pregnancies, less usage of drugs and alcohol, and also, awareness for mental health.
Right.
And I believe definitely, even though we get shunned for using technology, I think because we use technology and it opens our awareness, we're able to see, the real full scope of these issues that have been affecting our society for some time. So I think that it's helping us see, shows like Teen Mom are showing us the ins and outs of being a teen mom and showing the dynamics between, co-parenting or either being in a relationship with a child involved. I think also, shows like Euphoria are showing us, the downsides to drug use and alcohol use and how that impacts, relationships and dynamics with parents and how it affects your schooling, and also touching on mental health. I think because we are so more intertwined with socializing, we are definitely more aware of each other's feelings. We are definitely finding different ways to create spaces for mental health and mental health awareness. What do you feel like our generation has added or enhanced from your generation or your perspective?
I think Generation Z is having more open dialogue than Gen Y or Gen X. I think because you guys are socializing more and you're kind of talking to each other more like in the media, I think that there's more transparency. And with transparency, you get to see what people's feelings are, what their thoughts are, what their emotions are, and how people are really impacted by a lot of the decisions that are made in our, popular culture. And so in that way, I think, I can really appreciate that a lot of the things that we may not have like shared with our parents, might have been silent about, might have struggled with in silence, are things that you guys are just saying, no, we're going to make sure that everybody's aware of this. We're going to find additional resources and we're going to be there to support each other, which was one of the really, powerful things that you said, is like understanding each other's feelings and also supporting each other in the spaces that we're in. You mentioned like Teen Mom. Teen Mom was an interesting topic because I wasn't expecting you to say that, actually. Like when I was watching Teen Mom originally, I was kind of taken aback by it. It was like, okay, are they glorifying this? Is this like shining light on having relations at an earlier age, basically becoming parents at an earlier age? But it's interesting that in your generation, what you essentially saw is kind of like a warning to it, more so than like them glorifying teenage pregnancy or teenage parenting. It sounds like in your generation, you're kind of seeing it as sort of like maybe what not to do or what the realistic expectations are when you do make those decisions and you do become parents at an earlier age. And so that's interesting that the takeaway, which is understandably different, but the takeaway is leaning more in a positive direction where it's like kind of more preparational, which I can appreciate. I think slowly but surely it's kind of creating and opening up some spaces for our generation to kind of model that behavior and become more open in conversations in those spaces. And I definitely think it in bridging the gap between parents and children or adult children. I think that's going to be a really eye-opening way to kind of look at some of the things that we might be able to do to like sort of unify our relationships or heal our relationships. So I'm glad that you brought that up because I can totally see where that's been like a real big help to, us kind of moving in a more positive direction.
I think we're really into caring for ourselves.
That's awesome.
Internally and externally. I know there's like spaces that people can go to online. There's like support groups and like therapy spaces online. Instead of finding a therapist in a medical office, you can find a therapist online. Journaling is a big thing. A lot of people have got into journaling and writing things. And I think we also indulge.
There's always some new device, some new app. Like, does it ever get overwhelming?
It definitely gets overwhelming. I think even, growing up, there was Facebook, then there was Instagram, and now there's like all these other different, social media outlets and platforms. So it's ever changing, and sometimes that can be a little exhausting. Me personally, like I don't want to keep on creating different social media accounts, but when people are jumping from one app to the next, it kind of is like, well, hey, no one's on Facebook anymore. Let me jump to Instagram. Oh, no one uses Snapchat anymore. Let me go to TikTok. And now people, don't upload videos on Instagram anymore. It's on TikTok now. Especially, tying back to being a business owner. Definitely, as much as you may not want to keep up with the trends, you have to in order to, keep your clientele going and to attract new viewers. So yeah, it can be kind of hard.
I don't think it's the easiest transition in the world for me. Like, I have to do it. I feel like it's necessary, especially if you're, involved in any activities or any businesses that are generating like, either leads online or maybe some of your work or some of your clients come to you in an online space. It's a presence that you have to have. But I also feel like sometimes, like you said, going from platform to platform and having to repost in different places and things of that nature, I can definitely feel like sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. Also, just in terms of being like a Black business owner, you know what I mean? Just in terms of like coming from a space where I wouldn't necessarily say like our content is always like heavily promoted in the algorithm or that it's like pushed out there. So I think being able to put content out in those spaces, be able to put your business out in those spaces and kind of like customize your posts to attract more people that might be coming from those spaces. Also in terms of like, becoming more successful, in entrepreneurship. This has been a very interesting episode. As always, we love to hear feedback from our audience. If you're Gen Z, Gen Y, or Gen X, go ahead and drop a comment. Let us know what you thought about our episode. If there's any other, variations that you see between our generations, anything that we may need to work on generationally, so we can have like more unification between the generations, drop a comment. Let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow us on all social media at Breaking Black Podcast. Stay tuned. We have more coming up for you soon.